having to employ a large dollop of blind faith where Graham Potter is concerned, and the reason I'm having to do so is because there is a lack of evidence. Now, what am I talking about? It's at some point in the future, he has some long plan to get us playing on the front foot, playing better, more attractive football, attacking football. And the reason I'm having to employ blind faith, because I don't have any evidence to suggest that's the case. Not with what he's currently doing at West Ham, nor having looked at his 3 full seasons with Brighton. There's nothing there to suggest that's what he's going to do either. Better football, it depends what you call better football. More possession-based football, yes. Attacking football, lots of goals, no. The goals tally's very, very low for him at Brighton. So you have to employ some blind faith. And the reason you do that is because you'll often hear if you question Potter, and it is a minority, and I understand why people are doing it, because I think it's people hoping for the best. But what you've got to do is separate, or you've got to identify whether that is people hoping for the best, or do they have some knowledge that you don't know? Is there some secret squirrel stuff that they're privy to that will happen in the future that you don't know? There's 2 things. The first one you don't hear that much. In Potter we trust. It's too early. Trust has got to be earned. I'm not going to spend any time discussing that. The other one is have some faith in the process. Think, well, okay. Well, I don't know what the process is. At this point, I do not know what it is. There's been some people allude to the fact that we will get more on the front foot, but as I say, there's no evidence. So I find it, without some evidence, find it hard to trust in the process. So we're back to blind faith. So what we're back to is, I hope it gets better. I hope it doesn't stay like this, which is basically, it's basically a goal a game. That's really what we're looking at. And that sort of matches with his time at Brighton, apart from the very, very end. Now, some may say, well, that's what happens when he does. So the final season when he went to Chelsea, he was a bit into the season, they'd started to score more freely. The first ones, I think it was 40 goals in his first season, obviously 38 games, 46 in his second season, that sort of thing. But there aren't too many people who are saying, give Potter 3 years. Give him 3 years. So we've got to hope that things get incrementally better, a little bit quicker than they did at Brighton. And the other thing that you get asked, certainly when you do videos with some of the comments, people say, just give him some time. Just give Potter needs time. Give Potter some time. And he's getting time. You often see this. People implore or make an appeal for something that's already happening. Give Thomas Souček some respect. So one of my least favourite phrases is put some respect on his name. I read on X, Twitter the other day. Put some respect on Thomas Souček's name. My goodness, right. Firstly, the phrase is an abomination, right? But there's plenty. So for you to say that, you have to think that Thomas Souček gets no respect. He gets tons. He gets a lot of love. It's creating a problem. It's basically you articulating a problem that's not really there. Why all the hatred to Thomas Souček? I don't really see it. Don't really see it at all. I think if you were to take a cross-section of West Ham fans, a vast majority of them are very appreciative of Thomas Souček, and he's a bit of a hero, and people love him. People love him. You've got to ignore a lot of stuff to think that Thomas Souček just gets hatred. So the other thing that we get asked to do, just give him time. Just give him time. Give Graham Potter time. He's getting it. A luxurious amount of time, actually. A whole half a season before he comes under really any pressure at all. Historically, you might argue that's not much time at all. In a modern day, in a modern game, Premier League, that's a luxurious position. It really is. So he's going to get the time. So much time, in fact, that he wasn't really under pressure to revamp or change, or no one forced him to bring players in or anything like that. He was able to bring his own head of recruitment in and start playing the long game and not make a rush decision. Let's deal with it in the summer, which I think is the right thing to do, by the way. I don't really have any complaints with the strategy of doing that. I'm just saying, we are in an era of blind faith. But with that, I couldn't help but think about Graham Potter when I was watching Jarrod Bowen toil and struggle. I don't. It's Latvia. I was thinking of Liechtenstein. I don't know why. he didn't have a great game. We've not spoken about that. We've not spoken about the England games on this channel, have we? This week or last week. He got the start. He got the start under Thomas Tuchel. And really interesting listening to Thomas Tuchel speak beforehand. He wants a Premier League style, fast-paced Premier League style, direct. I felt Bowen played within himself. Really played within himself. And I think he started to. I think he was given licence to drift inside. I think he started in his preferred position. By the end of it, I thought he was playing it safe. He got plenty of the ball. People were looking for him. People were looking to try and play him in, but I never felt he fully committed to the attack. I felt, I don't know if you thought the same, it almost like he was scared to make a mistake. And I was watching it, I was thinking, we're not doing Bowen any favours. And I mean West Ham have not done Bowen any favours. Don't know what the stats are, but I would be interested to see how many times he has played in his favoured position this season against the amount of times he's played out of his favoured position. Now, we may disagree on the terminology of of what Bowen's best position is, because terminology on football changes all the time. It's hard to keep up. If you don't want to call him a right winger, if we could agree that his best position is sort of on that right-hand side of the attack with a licence to cut in and shoot and supply. But more or less, he's on the right. Pretty much where he started for England, actually. I think Jarrod Bowen's done more than his fair share as captain. He's put in a shift and he's put in a right stint to help the club. When needs must, he's been there and he's played out of position. Without complaint, he's taken up the captaincy. But I feel it's probably time now that Potter needs to give him something back, which is where he comes into it. Because I don't think he's helping the team. I don't think he's helping himself, Potter, and I certainly don't think he's helping Jarrod Bowen by playing him where he's been playing him. You then factor in that I don't know what went on with Evan Ferguson, but all is not as it seems. If you believe the narrative and certainly the story that we were all told, and I certainly believed in the January transfer window, Graham Potter really wanted Evan Ferguson above and beyond any other player they'd worked with him before. He was the guy. He was the guy that was going to basically take over from Niclas Füllkrug and cover for him when he was out. The other half of the story was that Ferguson really wanted to come and join West Ham. It was a match made in heaven in that sense, because Brighton wanted him to get game time. Something about that is not true. We were also told he was fit, as I've mentioned. Just before he came, played 20 minutes against Nottingham Forest, the game before he came to West Ham. It got back to his fitness. His next game should have probably been an hour. Then he's ready for 90 minutes. It hasn't happened. Something about that whiffs a bit, right? So there's been something we don't know about has happened there, or whatever. As a result, Jarrod Bowen's been asked to play in a role that just doesn't bloody suit him. And I just feel for the rest of the season now, Potter sort of owes it to himself and he owes it to Bowen. And he probably owes it to Ferguson, or he owes it to Füllkrug to get on that front foot. I understand why he had to sort out the defence, I really do. And this is where we go to the blind faith. Some people would argue, and people that have watched Potter over a period of time would argue, well, this is how he plays, that's how he plays, this is what we got. The optimist in me likes to think, well, the reason he's playing such a sort of turgid style of football, really, is needs must. He wanted to sort out the defence. His priority when he came into West Ham was he had to sort out the defence. We were leaking goals. Okay, fine. But I think he's done that. And if that was his reasoning for playing not many creative midfielders, sometimes no creative midfielders, if that was his reasoning for playing no strikers, okay, fine. I didn't like it, but it had to be done. I totally take that. But the optimist in me, and there's the blind faith, thinks, well, you want to change that, right? This is not what we've got. This is not... We've got this for the next 3 years, have we? This surely can't be... And so I get Boyd, I don't think we get Jonathan David. The fact he really wants to get him fills me with joy, quite frankly. The fact that we go in for players like Chris Rigg and a lot of the other more attacking players, I think, well, this is good. This is what we need. So that also gives me hope that... Now, you've got to remember, these aren't facts. We haven't signed them yet. It's just transfer rumours. If we signed them, then you start to get a little bit more optimistic. Then you're relying less on blind faith and more on evidence. You've got some evidence. You think, well, okay, he's bringing in these attacking players. But we're already in a position where he's brought in an attacking player and he's not used him. But we sorted out the defence. We are 16th. I sort of get the impression, irrespective of anything we do, we're 16th. Can we climb up and can we finish above Everton? Quite possibly. Get 15th. We might finish above Tottenham. Not so sure. They've got players coming back now. I think we're 15th or 16th. That's it. So I just think, do it. Do it. Release the Kraken, so to speak. The Kraken is Jarrod Bowen, as you've probably gathered. Or the Kraken could be Evan Ferguson. Whoever the Kraken is, bloody release him. All right, get Füllkrug up there. Do something. Füllkrug's back. He played in a behind closed doors game. Played in the second half. Played 45 minutes. Ferguson's ready. Ferguson scored for Ireland. Here's my point. I think a lot of people are making excuses for Potter. And they may or may not be true. Excuse doesn't mean a lie. An excuse is mitigation. The reason we're playing like this is because of X, Y, and Z. I think we don't need it. I don't think we need the excuses anymore. I don't think he needs to do it. I think it's now, now start layering up. England's next game is against someone really crap. It's like San Marino or Andorra. It might be Andorra. Jarrod Bowen's not got too many more opportunities where he's got the likes of Saka out. When Yeri didn't get in the team, he got in ahead of him. Palmer's injured. There's players, I know Palmer's not really a right winger, but you know what I mean. There's places in the team. Foden started the first game. When you're a player like Jarrod Bowen and you're at a club like West Ham, you don't get that many chances at this. Clearly Tuchel likes him because he's seen that direct style of play. He's not going to play a striker. Tuchel's already said Harry Kane starts a striker. That's it. Forget that. So the position he's been playing for West Ham under Potter, he ain't getting in the England team doing that. The only way he's going to get back in that England, I think he'll be in the England squad. I think he's earned that. The only way he gets back into that team and gets another chance, so he might only get one more chance to start before someone else comes in and nicks his place. Not even his place, really, is it? Is for him to finish the season being, as he can be, should we call him the second best right-sided attacker in the league? I just think sometimes it's only, I'm sorry, I know I'm biased, sometimes I think it's only Salah that's better than him. I know maybe there's others, and yeah, okay, a claret and blue tinted spectacles on with that one. But he's up there. And at the moment, he's doing a graveyard shift for the team. I think the last game, was it Everton, maybe the game before? His three main contributions, in fact it was the one before because he set Souček's game, were actually recoveries in our own half. Defensive recoveries. Like 3 out of 3 defensive duels. Come on, to be fair, he has always, even for Moyes, done his bit. Helping out Soufal at right back, he's always done his bit there. But he was able to get involved and he was part of the attack. And he's our most lethal player. I don't know, probably Potter's thinking, well, that's why I've got him up front, but it's not really. That's not really the system. Because we're down one attacker. If you really want to do it, put a striker up there and let Bowen forge a partnership with him. I think if he does that, Bowen can get back into the next squad. Possibly even the next team. But there's no need for this stuff anymore. It's honestly my choice. I'm not doing a preview now for the Wolves game. Myself and Gia will deal with that. But if he has not got a striker up front in this next game, a striker up front, you never know this guy. He can have a striker in defence. If he's not got a striker up front and then Bowen on the wing, then I do think Bowen could be very much forgiven for really struggling to get himself motivated and sort of start to lose in a little bit of hope that he can make an impression with Thomas Tuchel.